I hope you're doing well and that you continue to be safe and warm and healthy during the Christmas season. I also hope that you're having a week of peace as we focus on peace for the second week of Advent. It's Thursday, so we know that today is our last day of the week for our devotions, and it's been 2 weeks that we've been looking at fear. And I trust that as we've walked through this process of not fearing, that your faith has gotten stronger and your fear has gotten less. So let's wrap up 2 weeks of devotions on fear not. We're going to be in 2 Timothy chapter 1. It's been a verse I've been thinking a lot about. It's been a verse I have been referencing in my studies privately, but also in some of my messages over at the church. All right, so let's go to 2 Timothy chapter 1. We're going to find verse 7 as you go there. You remember how many times fear or fear not is found in the Bible? It's found 365 times. It can be found as fear or fear not or do not be afraid. You see, fear is spoken of over 500 times in the Bible. The rest of the times, it's talking about the fear of God or the respect of God or the awe of God. But for the last time today, we're going to look at fear as an unpleasant emotion that's caused by belief that something dangerous is likely to cause pain or a threat. So hopefully by now you're in 2 Timothy chapter 2, starting in verse 7. Sorry, 2 Timothy chapter 1, starting in verse 7. There I go. Excuse me for that. So Paul's writing to Timothy. Timothy's a young man. Paul is the mentor for Timothy. Timothy is young in the faith or younger in the faith as far as age. He was saved under Paul's ministry. His grandmother was Lois. You can find that in the book of Acts. If you want specific references, let me know. I didn't write those down. But Paul tells Timothy, God did not give you a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. Let's roll into this and let's gain some truth and hopefully receive comfort and motivation this morning from God's word. You see, Timothy struggled with a spirit of fear. He was a shy man. He received persecution. He had to face false teachers. Again, he was younger in the ministry. And because he was younger, people didn't take him seriously. They didn't think that he was either worthy or old enough to be able to lead a church. And Timothy struggled with fear. So let me just stop right here. And this is a great reminder that all of these folks, except for Jesus, were struggled with things. They had the ups and downs of life that we have. And oftentimes we put these folks on a pedestal and we imagine in our life or in their life that they had the perfect life, that they never did anything wrong, that they never had any sin, that they never had any doubt, that they never had any wonders, that they never had any fear. But here comes Timothy. He's a leader of the church and he's struggling with fear. You see, Paul is Timothy's mentor, and he's reminding him of the truth. And when we are in fear, when we're faced with fear, we often go into the what ifs of life. We often leave the sound thinking and we allow our minds to wander into places that are not factual, but they continue to build on that wandering. And you go down that road. I call it a road of no end. It's almost like a dark tunnel that you continue to walk in because there's a little light, and you think if you walk further, you might come out, but you just get deeper and deeper into trouble. And that's what happens when we are focused on fear. Our fears take us away. And we don't live in the facts. We live in the land of what ifs. And there's never anything good that happens in what if. Because most of the time, our minds go with what if to the bad. It never goes what if to the good. So this is a reminder that fear does not come from God. God provides the power, the love, and the sound mind. God provides a mind that is focused and stands upon the truth, a mind that is not focused on the fears. But oftentimes we focus on the fears more than we focus on the faith because the fears are bigger to us. You see, the power of love and power and sound mind are necessary for Timothy to continue in ministry. Timothy was called to do a certain task for the Lord. He was called to ministry. And Timothy is reminded by Paul, don't allow those fears to take you off of what you are to do. God called Timothy to do something. You see, we are not to be focused on our situations or our circumstances, but on the mission that God has caused us and called us to do. He's put that burden in our heart. And I'm not talking like a pastor in ministry, but sometimes God has called you to go to work and be a testimony and a light there. That's something that you can go and do. That's something I can go and do. But sometimes when we live in fear, the fear becomes so big that the mission causes us. I'm sorry, let me try it again. Sometimes we live in fear, but the fear becomes so big that it causes us to be handicapped and we lose the mission and we don't stay focused. Sometimes we need to stay busy and we allow our minds to not be controlled by the what ifs, but allow our minds to be controlled by the soundness of the truth that we know. See, this is where we can come back to the Bible. We can focus, we can remind ourselves of God's truth and God's word, and that's going to help us in the battle. So he tells Timothy, he tells young Timothy, God did not give you a spirit of fear. Don't live in fear, but he gave you power and love and sound mind. He helps us to know where to focus our thoughts. So today, let's keep our minds about us. Let's keep focused on what is sound and what is true, and let's not be directed by fear. Remember, we want to have more faith than fear, and we want to have faith over fear. So if I can help you in any way, I trust you'll reach out. I hope that you have been encouraged by these. And we're going to take a couple days off. We always take Friday, Saturday off. I'd love for you to join us Sunday. If you want to join us in the building, we have a 9 o'clock and 10:30 service. We have adult Sunday school at 8 o'clock. And if you're not ready to come out because of the pandemic and you'd rather stay at home, then we're probably going to be on live stream somewhere around 9:30 to 9:40, depending on how long our announcements are. And we do an Advent wreath and candles, so we probably will be closer to 9:40 on Sunday morning, and we'll be on the Facebook page at the church. If you'd like that link, let me know. I hope that you have a great day and that you have a great weekend, that you can continue to worship the Lord in this Christmas season, and most of all, that you will have faith over fear. Have a great Thursday. I'll see you Monday or sooner.